Hi everyone, Danicha here. I am going to do a solo playthrough of Paper Dungeons, a dungeon scroller game. This is a game that's good for 1 to 8 players, for 10-year-old and up, and takes about 30 minutes to play. So I've got this game almost set up. I chose a dungeon. So there's various dungeons, and this is the one we'll be doing today. So when you choose your dungeon, you have to fill in your sheet. So it comes with a big pad of these papers, and essentially it kind of has a section for the dungeon, and you'll kind of map out what the dungeon looks like on your sheet. You'll also notice there are 3 monsters, 1, 2, and 3. So you'll also want to mark that on your sheet by writing down the number and circling it so that you know that that's where the monster is. So I'll go ahead and do that. We have the number 3 monster above this water line. That's the blue squiggly here. And then let me try to fix this light a little bit. It's a little too bright. There we go. And then we have the 2 here, monster 2, and you'll see here there's actually some walls you have to draw. So these lines, you'll have to also draw them on your sheet. So we'll go ahead and kind of draw those as well. One goes up here. Another wall, and the final monster is here. And I think I've drawn all the walls. So at this time, your sheet would match what is on this card. Feel free to play this along with me. I think solo-wise, it's a very good game to play over webcam and with many people, and just try to beat everyone's score. Right, it's the highest score wins. The scoring in this game is called glory, so you get glory points throughout the game, which you calculate at the end of the game so that you can determine who the winner is. And at the end of a solo game, it's really a beat your own score, I think. But we'll see how this one goes. I did not do too well on my first try. Anyway, I will go through how to play, but this is mostly a gameplay video. So I will explain a few more components and we'll get started with the game. So next to the dungeon, we have the 3 monsters. So you'll notice that this is green, this is blue, this is yellow. We've got a green monster, a blue monster, and a yellow monster. You could tell from the edges to the right of each card what those colors are. They progressively get harder, so it does matter. And the game comes with a bunch of cards for each color so that you can randomize it. Same thing with the dungeons. There's multiple dungeons. And then we have our what do they call those cards? I just want to make sure I get the naming correct. So we have power cards, which are the bluish cards, and then we have kind of like a greenish card called objectives. And this you draw 2 each, and then you choose one of those to play through your game. So the one I have here is Ranger. So this one says move 1 extra, basically 1 extra box. I'll explain that later, after you jump over water. So there is an ability that you can gain, or a skill you can gain, that allow you to jump over the blue lines, because normally you can't. You have to like go around them. But then you also lose 1 glory point at the end of the game. And then I have my objective here. I earn 2, 4, 6 if I earn 10, 15, or 20 glory points fighting monsters. So we will have to see how that works out, because it's dependent on the monsters that you destroy and how many glory points you've gained total from them, which you do track throughout the game. So another part of setup is you'll notice these 4 icons on the bottom, and you'll notice there's 2 that are kind of shaded in. So you'll need to get your paper, and you'll see here on the top left, the same 4 symbols appear, and in these smaller white boxes, you'll need to shade in the ones that are shaded in from this card. So it would be the hat and the cross symbol. So just shade those in. And then that's part of that setup. And then you're basically ready to go. So I'm going to have this rule book here just in case we need to reference it. But for the most part, you can use the dice. And you'll notice that now that I've shaded this in, if I were to roll a die with this symbol on it, say it's this one, and I see that same symbol on it, it's black. The black die with that symbol on it means I can fill in that box. If it was a white one, I wouldn't be able to use this die because this is shaded in. Although there will be a skill later that allows you to put, regardless of color, to use the die to shade in your skills and level yourself up. So this is the level up section. And there are 4 characters that you can level up. And once you reach level 4, you get these bonuses. And another thing to note is that every time you level up, you gain health. So this is your health bar or health meter. From bottom to top, you start with 4 health. Like I said, every time you level up, you will also gain a health. So the number of health you have should always match the level number here, the number of shaded boxes in this section. If you were to get damage, this is also the meter that you fill in, starting from the bottom and going all the way to the top. Directly to the right of it, you'll see potions. This is a potion icon. You can use any color die with any icon on it to get 2 potions. So you'll fill in the circle to get the potions, and then you have 2 life. Alright, so you'll just circle that in once you get it, and then you can use it. Instead of taking damage here, which could potentially give you negative glory at the end of the game, you can utilize these damage heart icons instead, which I will encourage you to do. So if you happen to reach a damage amount that is more than your life, then you actually die. So there's this -9 all the way at the bottom. It's your resurrection. That's why there's angel wings on it. You can use it, but you lose -9 glory points. You lose 9 glory points. And then you just continue throughout your game. You don't die again. You only die once and get resurrected, and from then on, you don't die. So no matter what, you get to finish the game, which is nice. So let's focus here. So this icon means you could use a white or black die, any icon, to move 2 spaces. So when you move 2 spaces, you have to choose, if it's your first move, which of these doors you want to enter. And there are 6 doors you can enter, and you can choose which one. So if I chose this one, I will walk in. That's 1 movement. And immediately I see a minion. So there are minions here. And this minion has a level 3. And when you see this icon, a 3 hat here, if you don't have a 3 or more hat, then you get damaged. The difference between the 2. But if you do have enough skills, your level is a 3 or higher, then you'll be able to let me just make sure I got that right, because that sounds wrong. So defeating minions. So if the minion's level is equal to or lower than your hero's level, the hero defeats the minion and you take no damage. But if the minion's level is higher, the hero still defeats the minion but will take damage equal to the difference. So I was correct. So no matter what you do, defeat the minion, but you will take some damage if their level is higher than mine. And then once you defeat the minion, you'll cross out the minion, and then you can actually take the treasure. So you can't take this treasure until you defeat the minion. Okay? So this treasure says you could get 2 potions, which is awesome. Oh, I should clarify that you get 2 potions when you use your die here. So 1, 2. All right. And over here we have the gem track. So you'll see there are gems that you can find with letters on them. And if you explore that room, kill any necessary monsters, you can capture that gem and then you just mark starting from the left and keep going. And some of the gems have bonus icons that you kind of just match. So if you got this one, you see that ring, you just cross out one of these. And now I'll explain this. So this section, you can use any die, any color, to just cross one out. Cross one out. Once you cross both of them out, you get the bonus that's to the right of each of these as you cross them out, which is pretty neat. You do need to use the specific icon here though, if there is an icon. These don't, so these are any color, any icon, but these do require the specific icon from the die. You'll notice here the infinity symbol. That means this effect is ongoing. Then you'll notice here the lightning symbol. That means this effect is immediate. Something happens immediately. So keep that in mind. And then we have this minion track, which I should have pointed out earlier. So this minion track, every time you kill a minion, which is one of these, anything with a number next to it. So every time you kill one, you just mark it off the sheet. That's all you do. All right, and then down here is made for scoring. There are essentially three rounds until you defeat a monster. So what you do is every turn you choose 3 actions to take. 3 actions, and then you'll get to defeat a monster. Or, I mean, get the chance to defeat a monster. You may not get a chance to defeat the monster if you did not explore the dungeon enough to reach that room. You have to have either be in the room or have walked through the room and explored through that number. If you didn't, then you actually move on to the rest of the game. But you lose out on some really good glory points. And same thing with monster 2 and 3. And so a closer look at the monsters. We'll look at the mummy. So what's interesting here is you'll see this cross icon times 2. Depending on what your skill level is, that means this mummy is weak to this icon. So then the number of skills that you've leveled up for that cross icon doubles. So say I had 3 marked, then the value is 6. So to defeat this mummy, you actually have to add up how many boxes you shaded in this level up section. So you'll count all the boxes you have, and then you'll compare it to any of these numbers. All right, and then if hopefully it reaches the minimum, because if it doesn't, then you end up taking some damage. But if it's not, you get to get the glory, which is awesome. So the glory is in green, the damage is in red. So you always take the damage actually. So let me just double check. If the total isn't yeah, so it says run away. If your total strength is lower than the lowest value on the card, or if you did not reach the monster, you must run away. So running away, you take no damage, but lose glory points equal to the penalty on the monster card. Oh, so that's this one. So if my total boxes filled in is not equal to the lowest value, which is 9, or I didn't explore that room with that monster yet, then I have to take this this amount and write it in the monster 1 space, which is -3 in the monster 1 space. So it will give me -3 at the end of the game. And then in the solo mode, you do an additional item here. So every time you complete a monster phase, you cross out a gem with the corresponding letter. So gem B, gem C. So you'll notice these gems are lettered. So gem B is here and gem C is here. So I'll cross it out, which means if I didn't get to that room before this, I won't be able to get that gem. And those gems could give me some really good points here. So it'll be important to keep an eye on that. All right, let's get into some gameplay. So let's start by rolling dice. All right, so one thing I do have to explain is if you get 3 skulls or 3 clovers, you have to re-roll. You have to re-roll until you don't have 3 of either of those. So with this roll, I only got 2 of these skulls, and I'll explain what the skulls do. So the skulls deal damage. For each skull, you take 1 damage. So right now, I had to take 2 damage. So we'll do that. I have to cross out these hearts. 1, 2. I'm going to want to try to level up, but this icon means I could go into 3 rooms. I can make 3 movements, which is awesome too. So I do want to use this. And up here, you'll track the dice that you use. So I just wrote the number 0 here, since this has the number 0 on the die. So each die has a number on it, so you can keep track of the dice you already used. So we have 3 movement, and I don't have enough skill to make it into these minion rooms here. So I'm just going to go up here, and I get this potion. So I get 1 potion. And then my second movement is this icon, which I didn't explain, but this is the trap icon. So anytime you encounter a trap icon, cross it out to acknowledge that you've taken the damage. So you take 1 damage. And because I got a potion, I'll take the damage here in the potion section instead of my health meter. And then as my third movement, I'll go into the Monster 1 room. So that means when we reach this Monster 1 section, I will be able to attempt to fight it. Okay, so I have 2 more actions. All I did so far was use 1 die. The ones that damage me don't count as my actions. That's just kind of what happens. So now I will use this dice number 6 because this is shaded in for the hat. I get to use this die and shade that in. When I shade in one of the level boxes, I get to shade in a health. So now I have 5 health. So that was die number 6. And lucky me, this is also a black die and a cross. And that matches this cross and the fact that it is a black die required. So go ahead and shade that in. Now gain 1 more life. So you'll see I have 6 of these boxes shaded in. And that has 6 health. Again, they should equal. Alright. Next die roll. Okay. So this time I did get 3 skulls, which means I have to re-roll. Okay, so luckily just 1 skull this time. So just 1 damage. So I have 1 potion remaining to take that. Now I will also use this movement. So 0, and then I want to go up as my first movement. I take my damage. And then I get to level up. So when you see this icon, this level up icon, that kind of gives me like a bonus action this turn. Even though I'm not actually using a die, I get to immediately level up any of these. So I'll go ahead and level up the mask, which means I get 1 health. Alright, so that was 1 action, and I will complete my movement. So I'll go up. This is my second and my third. So another trap, so I take 1 damage. And then I gain 1 potion. So again, you can only gain the potion or any good things after you've taken care of the traps and the minions. Alright, so my second action will be to utilize this cross. So die number 7. Cross that out, gain health. And my final one, I think I do want to start getting this section. So I could use any of these here. As long as it matches these symbols, or literally use any of these for these bottom 4. So I think I'll use yeah, I'll use the one with the mask on it, die number 4, and cross out one of these. And then I'm halfway to getting the ability to climb over walls, so that'll be helpful. So that's the third action. So we roll now. Okay. 2 damage. So I'll use my potions for that. Take the 2 damage there. I think I will... What should I do here? I think I'll go for the mask. Gain a life. And then I'll also go for the shield. Gain a life. So that was die 4 and 1. And then I get to choose one of these to use. And I will use that one as well to level up. Alright, so we are done with that. And then we hit round 1, the first monster. So the first monster requires me to have at least 9 and requires me to have at least walked past the room or through it, which I did here. So I qualify to fight the monster. So let's see how many I've shaded in. So this is weak to the cross. So the cross I shaded in 1, 2, 3. So it doubles. So that counts for 6. So 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. So I had enough to defeat it on the second level here. So I gained 4 glory points, which I'll track here under the monster 1 icon. And then I will take 2 damage for that fight because I guess it wasn't a instant knockout. And I also have to look at this. I cross out gem B and gem C, which means I can't access those gems anymore. So that is the monster fighting phase. Back to the rolling. Alright. So no skulls this time. I got my first clover. So I will first try to complete this cross, which does not look like I can, but I will use this for the cross. So clovers, I think, could be any color because for the cross, I do need it to be black. Let me confirm that the clover does work for it. Right. So the clover result can be used as either a black or white warrior, wizard, cleric, or rogue. It can't be used for boots though. So I can use this to level up, I believe this is the cleric, and then I get this bonus, which means, so it's probably self-explanatory, but it's the skull icon with an X on it. So anytime I roll a skull, I don't have to worry about taking damage anymore. So it's pretty neat. So I do try to level up this one all the way up. So I don't want to forget my life. So that should be 12. And then I will choose my second die. It'll be, oh, I can't do that. It'll be this shield. Gain a life. And then my third action will be to use this mask. And now I have the ability to cross over walls. Alright. Got a lot of these hats, which could be useful actually, because then I could get an extra. I'll use one of them. So the black one. So number 6. Gaining life. And that one allows me to use white for black and black for white, meaning the colors don't matter anymore. So aside from ignoring the skulls, I could also ignore the color essentially. So I'm not limited by color anymore. So I'll use the boots to move towards the left. I want to try to get to the third monster. I'll go ahead and go left for the first movement. There's a trap, so I take 1 damage. My second movement, there's another trap. I take 1 more damage. Then my third movement, there's another trap. Take another damage. But then I also get this bonus. So I get to cross off anything here that I want. And I'll go ahead and cross this out. If I cross the other one out, I can level up. So 1 more action here. I'll go for this mask. And it doesn't matter that I needed a white before because my skill said that it doesn't matter if it's white or black. So I'll go ahead and shade that in, gain a life. And then immediately I get a gem. Starting from the left, I fill in the circle. And those are my actions. Another dice roll. Okay, got 2 boots. Would be nice to get the shield. Maybe I'll focus on potions. I'll get 2 potions. So using die 0 and 3 to get and now that I went here, I get to level up something. So what happened here was that I filled in the entire row of 1 potion. I got a level up icon, and so I got to fill in an extra level up icon. And so now I've reached level 4 across all these 4 characters. So I get all those bonuses from now on. So from now on, this specific bonus gives me plus 1 skill towards that fight. All right, and oh, I think I used all of them. Did I? Is that how I did it? Zero, 3. Yeah, those were 2. No, I have 1 more action. 1 more action, and I will use just this die to get a level up, and I will level up on this one. So I'm level 5 on that, and then I get to fight monster number 2, but oh no, I never went into room 2. I went straight towards the 3rd monster, which is so silly of me. So room 2, I didn't even go in. That means automatically I have to run away and take -4. That's a bummer. So I didn't even get to fight that monster. Anyway, cross out gem E and gem H. So I no longer have access to those. And moving on to the dice rolls. That was pretty disappointing. I didn't pay attention there, so definitely my fault. So the skulls don't matter here. I'll use this icon to cross that out and get a health. And then I'll use the clover to move. Actually, I can use any die to move, so I'll wait for that just in case I want to use one of these specifically. No, I think I'll move. I'll move 2 steps. So it's 1, 2. So I went into room 3. I can definitely try to defeat the Watcher, and then I get a potion. Alright, and then I will do 2 more movements. So that was die 6, and then die 9. I will use 1 die to move 2 squares. So 1, like I could climb over walls, don't forget, because I gained that skill here. So I could climb over this wall. I have to deal with the trap and get 1 damage. And then I could get G, which is a gem, I'm sorry. So it's from left to right. Now I'm at the second one. And that means I get that ring, which means I can fill that in for 1. And this is my last die roll. Okay, so we got 2 skulls, which do not matter. And I'll level up this health, and then I will level up this. Yeah, I guess so. Get a health. And then 1 more. I can use this to fill this in. And then I get +3 towards my next fight. So that's 4, 7, 5. Alright, so now we try to defeat the Watcher. So I did visit his room, and he's weak to the hat, which is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So 5 times 2 is 10. So 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 25. Oh, I have to make sure I didn't count these. So that is 1, 2, 3, 4. And this counts as 2. So 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25. 25 plus 3, because of this bonus, is 28, which is exactly what I needed for this 3rd level. So I get 8 glory, but I do take 3 damage. 1, 2, 3. Okay. And being that it's the 3rd and final monster, I don't have to delete. I don't have to cross out any gems, which is good. Okay. So now it's time for scoring. So that was a pretty quick game. 30 minutes for sure, which I love. So now I can score. So I scored for monster 1 with a 4 glory. Monster 2 was a -4 glory because I had to run away. I didn't end up getting that monster into that room with the monster. And then monster 3, I got 8, which is the highest I could have gotten. So let's see. When you score this section, the level up section, you score for the lowest level you got, looking at the victory points on the bottom of that column. So the lowest one is this. So go all the way down, I see an 8. And then I also get a point for all the ones that reach the end. So I score 9 for this section. For the icon with the ring, we count each of these small little boxes that I filled in, and they're worth 1 point each. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And then any bonus glory here on the right. You'll notice the second row here has a -1. So if you ended up getting this skill, you actually lose 1 glory point. So I got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and then +3. So 9, because there's a 3 here. And the gems, you look from left to right. What is the rightmost gem that you filled in? And then you look at the glory icon and the number inside it, and that's what you score. So the rightmost one I have is this gem with the number 6 under it. So I score 6. And then for the minions, ooh, this is interesting because I actually didn't spend any time with minions. So I don't score any points for the minion. If I did, I'd be able to cross them off, and same thing as the gems. As I cross off, whatever the rightmost one I crossed off, the value right under it is the one that I score with. Alright, now for damage. So you'll see these little markers, the red negative numbers. You go all the way up until you reach one that's been filled in the highest, so it's -6. So even if it went past -6 but not right next to -9, it still would be -6. It has to be just under it or in between the two so that you'll get the lower number. So the -9, I didn't need to be resurrected, so I don't lose anything. I'll write a 0 there. Unfortunately, the ranger does make me lose 1 glory point. And then this says I earn 2, 4, or 6 if I earn 10, 15, or 20 points fighting monsters. So unfortunately, I gained a total of 8 points, which the lowest is 10. So I did not get any points for that. So you'll notice this extra icon on the right, mission. I didn't play with any mission cards, and I believe they suggest you do not in solo mode. I'll confirm that, but yeah, the glory points so you actually can play with the mission cards. They just score a little differently, it looks like, which is fine. I didn't play with mission cards because this was the beginner level for me. So we'll go ahead and ignore this last icon, and then we'll kind of tally up our scores. So we've got this cancels. 18, 26, 32, 26, 25. So my score was a 25, and this is what my sheet looks right after. So 25 is probably not a very good score at all, unfortunately. My previous score just before was what? It was a 23, so at least I improved a little bit from my previous game. But anyway, that was Paper Dungeons, a dungeon scroller game. I hope you enjoyed it, and stay tuned for more solo gameplay. Thank you. Bye.